I'm going bald. We're live now. Okay. Oh, there we go.
No, okay, but no problem. You can keep on explaining everyone how are you going bald.
I think it's the stress of living in Spain.
Yes,
I
don't believe you, Jason. Yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it?
It is hard, especially Rory and I come from the same way of thinking.
Yeah,
we like to,
Where do you live, Rory? Then I will introduce you to our audience. But where do you live, Rory?
I live in the middle of England, in a place just outside Worcester. So it's about 100 miles from London. But I live in the country, and it's a lovely place. Worcester has a good rugby team, though. So in the Premiership. But I remember playing Worcester when they were just a very junior club, before they had a lot of money pumped into them. So it's a lovely place to live. It's a beautiful place to live.
Yeah. You
haven't been here, Jason, have you either? Actually,
no, but I've seen. You sent me the video.
Yeah. Well, we've been to Jason's house many times, but he's never been here. He just liked it.
So, Jason, let's organize a trip. I will come with you. We go to watch Worcester rugby game, and then you'll show me England, and then we go in London to watch Chelsea.
Rory. Yeah, Danilo is a Chelsea supporter.
Oh yeah. And which Italian team, Danilo, do you support?
Torino.
Yeah,
but Torino FC, not Juventus,
Of course, it's important. It's important.
Yeah. Well, rivalry is very important in sport. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, of course, and winning more.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me introduce you, Ruari, to our audience. Normally, I'll explain you, Ruari, a little bit. I open this page in this time when there is no rugby, we cannot go to the pitch and so on. So I decided to start to speak a little bit about rugby, promoting our club. But then, because I'm Italian, so I started to speak with Italians and so on, and with all kind of Spanish rugby person from Argentina and so on. And then Jason, he tell me, okay, why you don't make one with a great guy that is a very close friend of mine, Ruari Mclean. I was a little bit afraid to do it in English, but I already done a couple, so I'll try. So,
You're very good. Yeah, it's okay.
No, not at all. So I asked you just to send me a little presentation, and it is really impressive, Ruari. I'm just like, I will not read everything, but so you played for Dulwich College, and then Cardiff Met University, all the top Welsh teams. You played for Llanellis Cardets twice, 2 seasons. You captained the Wales Students Rugby League, beating England, and then like 4 years in Gloucester, mostly 89, 1992, and captain, and then all the international career. We will speak about that if you don't mind, but Scotland tours in Zimbabwe, 87, Japan, 89, 3 tests, non-cap, and you captain Scotland B, and Scotland A versus Spain in Sevilla. I will definitely ask you about that, because all the Spaniards there could be really interesting on that. And what it is really impressive, and already Jason told me something about that, you were Barbarians, 5 appearances. Captain 3-time Easter Tour South Wales in Russia. So really impressive. We will speak a little bit about everything, but really impressive. And then junior career, all the Alenian playing with players that you went to school with all your career. So I imagine that where you play together with Jason, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Jason and I played our first game together. So when we were very young, we played our first game, and I also played my last game when I was 50 with Jason as well. I was on the pitch. I don't think I did much. And my eldest son was playing too. So we played for the
For Sant Cugat Barbarians, yeah?
Yeah. And my son said how badly I was playing because I'm pushing all the players inside for him to tackle. He was playing back row and I was playing in the centre. But I loved it. So I started my career with Jason and I finished it with Jason. So that was a nice way to do it.
Yeah. 50 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah. Yeah. So
but he's a far better player than me. Far better.
Well, Jason played scrum half. He played 9. I played 10, and we didn't pass the ball to anyone else.
But I cannot imagine Jason playing scrum half because I see him big, like giant. I imagine him play number 8 or something like that, but not scrum half.
I know. Well, he's a thug. So this. When he was young, though, he was quite small, and he was. Sorry, I've got my dog in the room as well.
Yeah, I have one barking here as well.
Girls, Betty, woman, outside.
What's the Jack?
That's okay. So Jason and I played, and he was quite small until he started growing when he was about 15. So he was like a big combative number 9. He would take the ball, and we used to treat him to pass, but sometimes he just wanted to go on his own. So, but it was a good relationship. We played for many years together. It was great.
And just the centers, they never touched the ball.
No, right.
No.
The forward's job is to give the ball to the backs, and then we never give it back to them. So, that was the way it was when we were young.
Now I'm laughing because I'm thinking to now I just saw an interview of a basketball player that just died this year, Kobe Bryant. And he was like speaking about his relationship with the other player, and he was saying like, if you want, they were saying, give me the ball, and he was just, get the fucking rebound and you will have the ball. So it was like the same to you. So like, recover the ball and you will have the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we used to give the ball to Ruari when we were in a difficult situation and ask him to win the game.
Okay. Oh, that's recognition.
My brother has a famous story. You were in Sri Lanka, no? We were in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
We were on tour in Sri Lanka, playing rugby, hockey, and cricket. I was playing cricket, and Ruari was playing rugby, and they were playing a game. My brother tells me this, and they were losing. And my brother said to him, "Well, do something. Do something. Win the game."
I remember it very well. Yeah, I was only young, 16, but it was one of the great things was to go on tour when we played rugby. So I spent the next sort of 15 years on tour, going to different parts of the world, going all over the world to play rugby, and it was a great way to meet people, to see a country, and to see. I've loved everywhere I've been in the world. It's been good.
Yeah.
Sorry for the noise. There is a dog. There is a dog barking here. From neighbor. I think that maybe I will change the place.
Or shoot it. You're Italian. You must have a gun.
Yeah. Okay. So I just changed the place.
Yeah.
Ruari, last time I spoke with Jason, I was asking him about his first rugby day. So you were like together. Do you remember that? Do you remember your first time you went to the pitch on playing rugby?
Of course, yeah. And we used to box together, Jason and I. So remember at school we would have boxing gloves, and so Jason and I, we used to box together. So we would play rugby together. We went down to the pitches together. We played football together. We did everything. And I remember going down to the pitches when we were at school, and it was organized chaos, wasn't it? But it was good. It was great fun.
On the big pitch.
On the big pitch, yeah, with just the teacher was throwing the ball. Yeah, and then it was just I mean, it was well intentioned. But we had fantastic fun, and we learned, we played, we fought, and he didn't want to upset Jason though, because Jason would deal out his own retribution.
Dear.
And then when the summer came, we would play cricket together. When we played sport, we played together at Dulwich Prep for about 5 years.
5 or 6
years, 5 or 6 years, and then we went to the big school. We played together right the way through our childhood.
Yeah,
it was nice to play again. When we were old men.
I love the definition of organized chaos, because now rugby is coming back on that. So now all the best coaches are saying that you should create this organized chaos in the pitch in order to let the player to make decisions. So that's not something new. It was in the old days as well.
Of course, and I think that's one of the big problems with today's game is that players are overcoached. And they don't know what to do in a situation where they haven't been coached. So they have to bring back sort of the intuition and the skill and the flair and let players make their decisions. And at the moment, they seem to be overcoached. They don't really know what to do. England personified it.
Yeah.
So it's good.
But I remember you told me that Wales probably was the last team with players like Shane Williams and this type of player, they were allowed to play how they wanted, and England were calling 5-6 moves from the lineup, and they had to follow the pattern. And if there was a break, the Welshman would take the break. The Englishman would carry on with what the coach had said. This, for me, I prefer, if you have very good players, you should let them play.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just the same in football, the same in any major sport, isn't it? You want skill to be at the forefront, so that you have something to watch, you have a spectacle.
Yeah. I mean, this is a problem with someone like Cipriani. Okay, Danny Cipriani has problem off the pitch because he likes the ladies. I know. He likes the ladies, and but we all are the same. But
he's probably Italian somewhere back, isn't he?
Yeah, he is Italian.
Cipriani is definitely Italian surname, family name.
They probably try to coach him too much. I don't know. I prefer the more rebellious way of playing.
Oh no, Cipriani, he's fantastic to watch. He does things completely off the cuff, and some of the games he's played for Gloucester this year, he's had a fantastic season, but he has his problems off the pitch, and then that's what's stopped him playing for England this season.
Who's coaching now at Gloucester?
Well, it was Johan Ackerman, but David, the Irishman, I've forgotten his name now. But
Ackerman is related to Bob Ackerman.
No, he's a South African. But he's a coach, but I think he's gone overseas now. So I only went there once this time.
Talking about Gloucester, Danilo, you want to ask Rory about playing in Kingholm and a great ambient in Gloucester.
Yeah. It's interesting. By the way, Gloucester is doing a real exciting style of play in the Premiership in the last years. You mentioned Cipriani. There is as well the scrum half who is playing for Italy. So they have two scrum half, but there is Cullen who is playing for Italy now. Is the number 9 of Italy.
Well, when I went to Gloucester, which was in the mid 1980s, they had a famous pack, and they were not famous for their backs. In fact, they said that the wingers could have been Lord Lucan and Shergar. So in other words, the horse that was kidnapped and Lord Lucan, because they said that 9-10-man rugby. But when I joined Gloucester, we won our first 20 games, and we played Bath. We played all the big sides, but they were famous for their forward play. but the professional game has meant that the game has had to develop, and that they have a very good base, and they have a very good crowd as well. So they're very good clubs around the Gloucester area, which means it's very well supported. And they play an attractive style of rugby now.
Yeah, really, really attractive. Yeah, I like it very much.
Because Gloucester is a town which is a rugby town. There's some football perhaps, but rugby is more important. And the stadium, the stadium was used in the World Cup in 2015. And you go to Gloucester and you have a good day. Yeah?
It's an outstanding. They have one part of the ground is called the Shed, so you have a very partisan crowd, like Italian, Spanish football. And when it goes quiet, you don't want to be standing on the far side, because if you play badly, they will shout to you and tell you exactly where you need to go. Which was get back to local. Get back to local, McLean.
Yeah, go home. Go home.
So you had to go down a step level. But Gloucester now has embraced the professional game. Tom Walkinshaw put a lot of money in. The Formula One boss.
Yeah.
He's dead now, but he brought, a lot of clubs needed money to survive, and they were bankrolled by a lot of big entrepreneurs to ensure that they're surviving.
Ruari, there is a question coming here from the audience, and because we are live, there are as well some questions coming from people they are listening to us. So I will give it to you. So in the past, coaches said if you throw the ball while you are tackled, you go to the bench. Now it's called offload in modern rugby. But I agree with that. I'm not fully agree, because, for example, the game which was played in France and so on, it was very dynamic. Just today, I posted one great try scored from Treviso, coached from Villepré. Well, there was a full of offload. How was in England when you were playing?
Oof.
I think coaches want to win. So if you do the right thing and you win, they don't care. So if you throw it wide, or if you offload and you keep doing that, then I think they're happy. If you play a careless style of rugby and it doesn't come off, and they lose, then these people are in paid jobs now. So all they want to do is win, and so they play percentage rugby a lot of the time. But if you can offload, you look at Sonny Bill Williams, you look at some of the big players now. It's all about continuity at the breakdown. So if you can offload and you can score tries, then they will support it.
Yeah.
It's just if you lose. If you lose, then there's somebody to blame. So why did you do that? But you've got to try. You've got to try things, and if you become afraid at trying things, that's when it's time to stop.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because when you try and take the try to stop, you see some players when, especially perhaps in Sant Cugat, they have a lot of ability, and you can see that perhaps they try and take things out of, especially in the backs. The forwards is a little different.
Well, there are two things, Jason. Two things about a player making it, and the two things are temperament and competitiveness. Now, when I played rugby at a younger level, there were players who were much better than me, but if they didn't make it, or if they didn't get the step up that they were hoping that they would get, and they couldn't take the knockdowns, they didn't succeed. So therefore, if you have the temperament and you are competitive, you will make it. There are plenty of people who have had the talent but have never had
and we have played with a lot of them.
Yes,
at school and later on in the club.
Who
is the best player you played against, Ruari? And Jason too, of course.
Well,
the best player you played or with or against?
Well, when I played for Gloucester, it was probably about 1986, 87. We played at Bath, and they had Jeremy Guscott.
Wow.
And it was his first game, and it was a very tight game. And he stepped inside me and ran under the post. I'd never missed a tackle. All the forwards said, "Roar, what's going on? What happened there?" And I just said, well, he's going to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Just as a flippant throwaway. But nobody had stepped inside me like that and accelerated away and gone away from me. He was just gone. And he was about 18 at that stage. And I just thought, wow. So I would play Jerry Guscott in terms of his pace and his elusiveness.
Yeah. And 3 years later, he was on the Lions in '89.
1989.
He went with the Lions before he had an England cap.
That's right.
And this is your famous coaches, Mr. McGeechan.
Well, yes, yeah. I was.
You mentioned me today. Yeah, about Mr. McGeechan. Yeah.
Well, don't forget, Danilo, I was playing in the amateur days, so you weren't paid for playing rugby.
Of course.
When I first got into the Scottish setup, McGeechan used to take me in a car. He came to watch me in a game, and then we would drive up to Scotland. And he was a geography teacher, so we would drive and chat and talk. And the game didn't go professional for another 8 or 9 years.
95, yeah.
95, 96. So he was a geography teacher in Leeds, and fantastic man. Really, really, all he wanted to do was talk about rugby, think about rugby, and plan for it. So he was great to play for as well. So I enjoyed it.
I think I'm not at this level, but he was the Lions coach in 89, 93, and 97. And 97 is the famous tour. And this is Jim Telfer, who was the Scottish. They played together for Scotland. But what Rory has always explained, McGeechan was a genius. I think I never met him, but I've seen the videos of the Lions, and in 97, the way he talked to the players, and
there is this famous speech that came out published.
Jim Telfer,
from McGeechan.
Also,
that is incredible. That is like so much motivating. I was listening to it. I say, oh, if I would be there, I would go out like a lion, like a real lion.
If you think about Scotland always is performing at a good level. They have less players than Spain, huh?
Yeah, before to speak about Scotland, Ruari, how it came that you played for Scotland? Because Jason told me that you are
English.
Born English.
Danilo, I've never been English.
Okay. So that's Jason tell me BS.
He's from Sydenham, mate.
My wife tells me I'm English. My children tell me I'm English. But I was born in England, but my parents are Welsh, Danilo.
Okay. So Jason told me. So you was born in England. Your parents are Welsh, but it came out you play for Scotland. So how does it?
They were short. That was all. They looked down the phone book and they found McLean, and they gave me a call. I had a teacher called Alan Frew.
Yeah. John.
And he waited till I was playing at Gloucester. And then when I was playing at a decent level, he got me involved with the Anglo-Scots, which was all the sort of top players in England who were qualified to play for Scotland. But nobody ever asked me. I went to my first training session and they looked at my name and they said, "Oh, Ruari Mclean. In the amateur days, that was what it was. They just put a tick. Yeah, you're Scottish.
You're Scottish.
Yeah, that's quite right. No, because actually, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to play for Scotland.
But your grandfather was Scottish, or your great grandfather?
My great grandfather was a Scot.
Ah, okay.
But, if it had been in the professional days, and somebody, I would have been banned. Yeah, it happened with Welshman. You know,
like it happens to Spain. They were banned and they disqualified
from
the World Cup. Half the players were French.
How was it? Oh, right.
Yeah. It's a long story. So we have another question coming. Ruari, what do you expect from the next year Lions tour? What do you think can be who do you think can be the captain, and which will be your starting 15? Oh, that's a hard question, but let's start for the first one. What do you expect from the next year Lions tour?
I think it will be huge. I think it will be huge because Lions, when they go abroad, they take about 30,000 supporters, and everybody will want to play. Everybody will want to get back onto a Lions tour. It's huge. I think you've got to pick someone who's one of your first choice players. So I would go for Maro Itoje. As a second row, as the captain, because he's your one player you guarantee on the team sheet. Of the other players, I'd go for Hogg at fullback, the Scotsman.
Yeah.
I'd go for Anthony Watson on one wing. And who's the other Englishman, Jace?
Daly? No,
not Daly. The speedster. On the right wing, I figure it'll come back to me. I'd go for who did you say?
After us, Jack.
All right, Jack will know. You know the speed. I just forgot. In a sense, I'd go for Tuilagi. And I don't know. It might be perhaps Ringrose, the Irishman. Fly half. I'd go for Owen Farrell, and I'd go for Thomas Williams at 9, and the forwards can look after themselves. You know, I was never interested in forwards. You know, forwards were just I'd go for.
Marty's telling us that the other wing is Johnny May.
Johnny May, that's it.
Johnny May, yeah,
outstanding player, Johnny May. So, so that's your back sorted. Back row. Go on.
You need some horrible forwards.
You do
to play in South Africa.
Well, I'd go for Curry on the open side.
Yeah.
I'd go for Billy Vunipola at number 8, assuming.
And who's the other guy who plays for England in the back row?
Well, I'd go for the Scotsman because I looked at McGeechan's team and he had I've just forgotten his name as well, but he had. He had an Irish second row, and he had a front row, which was a Scotsman.
Keith Wood, the Irish guy, and Tom Smith.
Right, but they're all gone. You're talking about your best ever team.
I know. I thought you were talking about McGeechan's team in '97.
Oh right, no, yeah. I'm just talking about the team next year. No.
Yeah.
No, so the Lions tour. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully it goes ahead, but who knows.
The front row you were meaning, Jason, from England is Sinclair, who went out the first minute of the World Cup. Yeah. He's a beast as well. Huh?
Well, he's a loose forward, isn't he? As a prop, he's very mobile.
Yeah.
I picked Tyke Furlong, the Irishman. I mean, he's another superb, sort of mobile prop. But the other two, I'm not sure.
Marty, tell us that you have said the same backline as Brian O'Driscoll last week. Not bad, Ruari. That's the comment.
Well, I didn't copy him, but I mean, and I never played against him, but I would love to have done, yes. But it's nice to have a mix. You've got to have a mix of nations, and you've got to, you look at all the great Lions tours that have been, and they've always had a good spirit and a good understanding between them. So it would be great to go and watch them.
South Africa is not that far.
Well, my uncle who coached the Llanelli Scarlets, he went on the 1971 Lions tour to South Africa as a spectator.
No, 74.
74, sorry, 74. It was 71 and 74.
71 was New Zealand.
Yeah, so 74. But he just said, and he sent me all the programs back from those tests, Ellis Park, and I've lost them. How much they would be worth now, I don't know.
I just spoke yesterday with a Catalan coach from here, Tony Andreu, who went in New Zealand where there were the Lions tour, and he said me that he slept 10 days at home of some New Zealander because there was a program who was adopt a Lion fans.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I was thinking with him. Can you imagine that in football? Like adopt a Real Madrid fan here in Barcelona,
or one of Juventus in your house, Danilo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this. I heard this because they didn't have enough hotels and enough places or campings, and people they put you in your house. Yeah.
But incredible, amazing, that's rugby. That's pure rugby.
Yeah. I mean, it may be dangerous with some rugby players to have them in your house, but
So from front row, you have to be.
I don't know. The backs can drink as well. Don't worry.
Okay. Marty said that for 2021 South Africa tour, I'll pay the first beer. Okay, thanks, Marty. Okay, Ruari.
Yeah.
I don't want to put in danger your friendship with Jason, but this morning he just showed me a missed tackle of yours against Japan. So,
well, his son Jack found that because Jack, when I played, there were very few clips of me playing rugby. So Jack found it on the internet. Yeah, we were the first team, international board team in Scotland in 1989. We lost 26-23, I think, to Japan in Japan. And the only clip that Jack found was me missing a tackle. It was a brilliant try. It was a fantastic try. But thankfully, Japan have come good, and nobody remembers that now. Well, apart from Jason.
Apart from me. Yeah.
Now they remember when they beat South Africa most.
Yeah. But at least Rory was on the pitch, and I was probably in the pub watching the game. So there you go.
Now, Rory, how was your international experience with Scotland? And then we will go to the Barbarians, which is another topic that for me is super interesting. But how was to play for Scotland? How you went in Zimbabwe? So.
It was fantastic. Scotland tried to imitate New Zealand in everything they did. So the way they organised their districts, there were 4 districts, and plus the Anglo-Scots, and they copied everything that the New Zealanders did. So they put an emphasis on coaching. So when they got McGeechan and Telfer involved, they realised they had a small pool of players and they had to develop them. So when I was involved up there, we had a fantastic experience, all the players who used to go up there. And it was a great introduction. We played I'd just come out of university. I'd played a season at Gloucester, and we went up to play France. We played the French national team just after they played in the World Cup final. And it was their first match after this, and we beat them. And then I was called into the international squad the following morning, and spent the next 5 years there. So I had a great breaking in and coaching setup to be a part of. And there were fewer internationals. So when I went on tour, we played and trained like professional players. And that was the first time I'd experienced that. Because being an amateur player, you did your job, then you went to train. So when I went on tour, which was 3 weeks, you would come back having trained twice a day and played 5 matches over the 3 weeks, feeling incredibly fit. So it was a really positive experience. Does that explain it?
Yeah,
perfect.
Perfectly. So you mentioned a couple of times about the amateurism and the professional switch that it came in those years. What's your view on that? Because some people say that we are losing a little bit the spirit that there were in the amateurism times, and that's a big debate. For example, in Italy, in Spain, where we are still not fully professional, there is a big debate if it's worth to go on that way or not.
Well, the game can't sustain itself as it is at the moment. You know, the people who are paying professional sports people and rugby players to play are bankrolling those clubs because they haven't got the crowds or the television numbers to actually run the game effectively. The amateur game is crucial. It's crucial to everything. Without the amateur game, the professional game won't survive. So the key thing ought to be to ensure the survival of the amateur game, wherever that is in the world. And I have two young daughters now, 11, who are playing at a local club, and I help coaching at a local club. Girls rugby is growing too. So the key to everything is maintaining a healthy grassroots system and having a good structure that exists to support the professional game.
This is exactly what Hugo Porta said on Sunday or Saturday with you, Danilo.
Yeah.
Argentina have 150 professional players, and then they have 50,000 amateur players.
Yeah,
it's clear.
Yeah,
you pay to support 150 players, and you let the clubs who are 100 years old, because England, I mean, our club from our school is 120 years old, 122 years old this year. And it's important that some players come through the club and then they can go professional. Otherwise, people won't play rugby. I think if there's no club, are you going to drive? I mean, Jack goes to San Cugat because I play rugby, but I drive, 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers to take him training. If there's no rugby in the local area, this is a problem in some countries. England is not so much a problem because every town has a club. But in some countries, I don't know, Italy and Spain, they can suffer.
Well, England have got the most players in the world.
Yeah.
And when I was playing up in Scotland, Jim Telfer said if England ever got their coaching act together, then it would be a team to worry about because they could never coach the amount of players that they had to get a winning team. Now, they did that with Clive Woodward and the gentleman before him too. But as far as Scotland benefited from the professional game was the structure that it had. You also had teams like New Zealand and France who were paying players before it was professional. So they were organising the game on a professional footing before it went, and that happened 10 years before. So players were always going to get paid. It was just getting a structure that supported that. But they still haven't got it right.
No, I think that the district system is a good idea, and perhaps in Spain would give more competitiveness in Spain because we still have the club rivalry. And I think if we played by region in senior level would be more interesting. This is my opinion. Scotland, Wales is the classic. A lot of those clubs, they still have the club, Llanelli, Bridgend, Cardiff, whatever, but you have the Cardiff Blues, you have what are the other teams called? The Scarlets or the
Scarlets, yeah.
And they are formed now from 3 or 4 clubs who were very big clubs when we were young. They were huge clubs, but the professionalism, you have to take the best players from your area. I don't know, in Italy is the same or is still the club?
In Italy is club. Club is there is no school rugby, almost zero. On professional level, there is two, like in Wales, there are 2 franchises. There is Benetton Treviso, who are playing top 14, and Zebre. Zebre is a federation a federational team, and Treviso, my city, is a club, is a private club. So is like mixed system. But Treviso is doing very well, by the way. In the
but Treviso take players from the local clubs.
Yeah, Treviso take players from the local clubs, but don't give them back. It's not like that they come just. No, it's not like they come just to play for Treviso. Or there are the permit player. Permit player are players from clubs surrounding Treviso who are going to coach with Treviso and then going back to the clubs in the weekend if they are not fit for the top 40.
Toulouse do this.
Yeah.
Toulouse have 30 clubs feeding them. 30. The local and this is what they do. And if you don't play, if you're not selected, you go back and play for your club at the weekend.
Which is how it used to be in Gloucester. The Gloucester clubs surrounding Gloucester, Mats and Long Levens, used to get a very good feeder system. And when players, in that amateur level thought they could step up, they would go along and join Gloucester and they'd stand next to you in training. Everybody was open. And that's the way to, you have to have a development route that players can see the way to develop themselves.
Are you enjoying Ruari to coaching little girls in your clubs? Is a nice experience. And how are they doing your daughters? Are they enjoying rugby?
They are. And I didn't want to force them. I didn't want to, make them go. But they were given a taster session at school, and they had a natural competitiveness about them. And they're quite tall and they're quite quick. So they really enjoy it, because I'm quite slow, Danilo. I give a very good impression. I'm quick over 5 meters, and that's it. But they have natural ability because their mum is tall and is quick as well. So she'd have been a very good rugby player at some point. And I told her not a hooker either. So, I've really enjoyed coaching again, and it's brought me back down to, because I haven't done any coaching for about 10 years. So it's been a great experience. I've really enjoyed it.
And now RFU is doing a big effort for family rugby developing. I think that England is one of the top team in the world, like New Zealand, England, like immense. But for example, South Africa is not doing the same. So RFU is doing a big effort for women's rugby, isn't it?
It's got a very good structure. It's got very good development officers, and there's a clear program that children know they can follow. So you have schools who develop, and you have clubs that develop, and the support network is very good. And I've taken the girl, my daughters, along to, they call it pitch up and play, because a lot of girls don't have enough teams to play. So they organise coaching sessions on a Sunday. So it takes 2 or 3 hours. So they'll go up and they'll turn up at a club. They'll get coaching, and then they'll get structured games. And you have different age levels, but it's a very good structure, and it's based on enjoyment and fun and competition, and it works well. Yeah.
Till which age are they play mixed? Because here in Spain, for example, me and Jason, we coached this year under 16, and we had 5 girls in the team. In under 16. Yeah, but Jason, by the way, some of them, they were really good.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Okay.
In England, they can play up until they start to go to secondary school. So they can play up until the age of 11 as a mixed team. So my younger daughter played in a mixed team. So there were about 3-4 girls who played in her team. And then when they go to school, secondary school, at the start of when they're in the year that they are 12, then they have to have separated. So it's all girls.
This is I think in Spain, Danilo, is a problem with the numbers.
Yeah, of course. In Italy.
Okay, the girls who do play to under 16. We've had 2 in Sant Cugat, La Amalia Agude, who's in Toulouse now, and she's in the professional Toulouse women's team and played for Spain, and Elvira who was a girl who is in Montpellier now, and she's still under 16, but they pay for their education. I think it's very, because if they survive, when they stop playing at 16 they go to feminine rugby, they must think it's Christmas.
Yeah, in Spain it is like, in Spain it is like Darwin selection. If they survive, then they survive.
I mean, Ruari, if you see the women's Spanish women's rugby team, I think they lost to Scotland, but not much. In sevens, they're very strong. All those girls have played with boys till they were 16.
Yeah.
And the Spanish boys, some of the Spanish boys are fully developed at 14. You know, guys 6 foot and 110 kilos.
Yeah.
And the girls, Danilo said, we have some girls playing them. Okay, for me, it's difficult, but they fight. They do fight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they stop normally, no, Danilo? Normally.
Yeah, of course. If they survive, as you said.
If they survive.
Okay. Ruari, before to finish this conversation, because I don't want to take you too long, but it's already 45 minutes. Time is going like very, very fast. But I really would like to listen you about the Barbarians, because you even captained the Barbarians in Russia, Jason told me. Is it right? Yeah.
Well, I captained them first on the Easter tour of South Wales, and we had Martin Johnson in the side, but he was a young man, so he was 21. We had Neil Back, who also won the World Cup, and we had Martin Bayfield, who was a big second row as well. So we had a very good side then. And shortly after that, they went on their trip to Russia. Now, I think I told Jason that they hadn't been abroad before, but actually I've checked, they had been before. I think 1957 they went to Canada. But we went to Russia, and the captain in those days had to do the training, Danilo. So they said, Ruari, you do the training. Yes.
So you had a lot of French players, no?
We had 3 French players. So we had Denis Charvet, who was a film star as well at the time. He played for Racing Club Paris. We had Jean-Marc Lafond and Jean-Baptiste Lafond, who were brothers who played for Racing Paris.
Were there some Italians too, or not?
No, not at that stage, no. So when we went out there, I set up the first training session, and the 3 French players were from Racing Club, and they refused to train.
Why?
They said the Barbarian motto is we do not train.
No training, only drinking.
So I said, what do you want to do? They said, we want to play football, of course.
Football?
So I had to go and get a football. And then I picked 2 sides, and the committee said, what are you doing, Mclean? I said, we're playing football. They said, oh, brilliant idea. Brilliant.
Think out of the box. Think out of the box.
But the same year that those 3 players had played for Racing Club of Paris, the Racing Club had got to the French Cup final. And on that cup final, they'd cycled to the ground in shorts and pink shirts and bow tie. They had champagne on the pitch before the game. And, no doubt they did lose, but they had a spirit about them. So it was a fantastic opportunity to go and play for the Barbarians. And we went over to we stayed in St. Petersburg to start with, and then went over to Krasnoyarsk, right in Siberia. So it was an amazing experience. So we were sponsored the whole time by a vodka company.
Oh, wow.
We had a KGB officer assigned to every single player, which we didn't realize. We got into trouble. But it was very much the amateur ethos. And I think the players who play nowadays for the Barbarians, it's the same thing. They greatly appreciate playing top-level rugby without the pressure.
Yeah.
And what is for me like amazing is that even now with all this structure game and all like the top of the professionalism and so on, when they play with some national side, they still compete.
Yeah.
They still can like be there even with the game. And
I think that when the game went professional, there were a lot of writers. I remember Chris Reid, the former Scottish international, who said that the Barbarians would not survive. That they wouldn't be able to survive in the professional era. But so many players want to play for the Barbarian that it's almost now guaranteed that they will survive, especially as they have sponsorship. And it's a great honour to play for them. So all the modern day players still want to play for the Barbarians, and as long as that happens, the club will survive.
I think, apart from the British Lions, for a player from United Kingdom or from Ireland or even from France, France don't have the Lions, or it's the greatest honour for me. To wear this shirt and to play with other players, as Rory said. I think the last game, or one of the last games against England, and they had what's the guy who was coaching Wales? Scotland was the coach, and they train hard, but they also have fun. And I think,
but even last year when they play England, so I think the England won, like, I don't remember exactly, but I think that England won for like 10 points or something like that. But England, it was like already in the mood of the World Cup, and Barbarians, they were like party time, but they were like competing like head to head.
I think if you play for the Barbarians, you are exceptional quality of player. So you put 15, 20 players together, and some of them perhaps are a little maverick, and they like to do different things, and they are not restricted. And this is the difference. I'm sure somebody like Cipriani will be a perfect Barbarian player. Perfect. Because he does what he wants to do.
Yeah, no, he would be. But when I first played in 1992, the South Wales tour was under threat. And the Barbarian committee said, we've got to win. They said, you want to chuck the ball about, but if we don't win, this tour is under threat, not for your year, but for subsequent years. So they wanted to play good rugby, but they wanted to play winning rugby, which is important.
I mean, if you say for in our club in England, the Old Learning Club, we have Rory's Barbarian shirt in the club with his Scottish shirt, and it's a great honour for our club.
Well, it's nice that it's somewhere.
I have the Japan shirt upstairs if you want to see it.
Oh my! You see, Jason is sticking on that.
Because I checked it and I never called it.
No, he's given Jack a French shirt, the Japanese shirt, and the Scotland trading shirt, and they're all upstairs in a special place because. For us,
Jack will be bigger than me now, won't he?
Well, Jack's 6'3". He's like Drew. Rory's son is a big boy.
Yeah,
and also good.
And he's really good player. I had the honor to together with Jason and the staff to coach him this year, and he's like very rugby-minded guy. He understands what is happening in the pitch. He can give him some good tips, Ruari, and he will be a great player.
The thing is, Danilo, Jack listens. Jason never listened.
therefore, I'm saying, Ruari, give some good tips to him because he will not listen to Jason. So.
Probably nobody does, and it's always my fault.
But
is there a problem?
Yeah, you must realise that he saw me play, and he thought I was this great player. When I was playing, when I was 50, I was walking around. And look, you played for who?
So, yeah, but at least you played.
Yes,
this is the important thing.
Yes, yeah.
You were there. There.
Let's see how Jack goes. Because it's his future.
Ruari, I don't know what Jason is doing, but now in those days, I'm interviewing some player of the clubs, and I'm asking them who was your best coaches. But I think that Jason is threatening them because already a couple told me Jason. So
they must be deluded. Yeah. They must be mad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. Just move it.
Well, perhaps he's mellowed in his old age, and he started to think, because he didn't think much when he was playing. He would just put his hand in your face. That was his way of playing.
Yeah, I wasn't the nicest player, Danilo. I wasn't. No, I admit it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. You told me about the episode with your brother when
My brother Rory, we were playing Maidstone pre-season or first league game, and they thought it was me, and there were no yellows. And Simon, there was a fight, and Simon punched somebody, got sent off. They banned him for 12 weeks because they thought it was me.
Do your family and friends suffer for your friendship?
Yeah. Mind you, Rory has a good story. I remember once we were in our club on a Sunday. We used to go to the club on a Sunday, and there was a program called Rugby Special, and they used to show the games from Saturday. So if Rory was playing, we all used to go and drink a lot of beer and then watch the game. I think it was Costa against Northampton with Buck Shelford.
I was captain of I was captain
and
of Rugby, and
you explain the story. Buck Shelford was the number 8 from New Zealand.
That's right. Yeah, he's the former All Black captain. But at Gloucester, when we were playing at Gloucester, they said if you weren't playing well, somebody would start a fight to see if it would actually get the players going. So we were playing. I was playing for Moseley against Northampton. It was in the quarterfinal of the English Cup, and Moseley were not playing well. And so I had this idea. Well, Buck Shelford started to swing and hit a young prop. So I ran in from inside centre, just swung a big punch, and he went down. And then I ran off.
and we watched this in the club. We were all very happy.
Yeah,
at this time.
and all the press reports said about McLean running in and flooring the All Black captain. So I've got those framed.
So you have in your history that you threw a punch to the All Black captain, and
he went down. Yeah, I floored him. It says I floored him, but I bought him a pint afterwards. He was a gentleman, so I enjoy playing.
That's the old rugby spirit. You bought a pint, and
that's it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
But
Ruari, before to let you go, I have a question that I do to everyone. I did to Jason as well. I do to everyone before to leave. What is your best rugby moment if you have to pick one? Of course, everyone has a lot, but if you have to pick one
rugby moment, I would think it would have to be a game, I suppose, and I think it would be beating France in 1987, and after the game, then being called into the Scottish squad. I had no idea that I was that close. And we played against a team who had just been in the World Cup final, and played against, I think there were 12 of the team that played in the World Cup final on the pitch at that time. And we just played a good game and a great spirit, and we didn't go to bed that night. And I think I would have to be that, yeah. So I was mid-20s. It epitomized the amateur game, and I would probably think again, if you asked me on another day, I'd probably say something else.
Okay, no, but that's nice. And it was with the selection, yeah? With Anglo-Scots selection.
Yeah. Yes, so we were just friends together. We played about 4 or 5 times a year. That was it, in the Scottish Divisional Championship. So we weren't a regular team, but we all knew each other. And we all had a great spirit. So it was a great victory.
Nice.
That's good.
Okay, thanks so much, Ruari. No, okay. If you don't have other questions, Jason.
You're drinking water. What's wrong?
A small glass of wine, Jason.
Oh, bloody hell! You're ahead of me then.
I don't have a glass to make the cheers, but like an imaginary one. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't worry.
Great talking to you, Danilo. Great talking to you.
Yeah, no, and Danilo has done. He can send you the link for his Facebook, but his interviews are very exceptional. The last 6 weeks, he has kept us entertained. He has done this from his own pocket and his own time. And the one, Rory, very good, is the one with Hugo Porta. It's in Spanish. It's in Spanish, but
it's in Spanish. What's the point, Jackson? I can't.
But it could be worse. It could be Scottish.
That's true.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'll try and catch up, and I'll have a look.
No, but there are some. Danilo has done a tremendous job.
Now I'll start to do a little bit more in English too. Maybe with your help, Jason, if you want, but time by times. So
yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I hope I won't upset anybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brilliant. My Mr. McLean, Ruari Mclean is my best friend.
That's good, Jay. It's great. It's good, and we have to come over and see you next year.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course.
Okay, and perhaps I'll see you then, Danilo, as well.
Yeah. Nice. I'm looking for it. Yeah, I'm really looking for it to meet you here in Barcelona or in England or anywhere.
Great. Well, perhaps I can bring my daughters and they can come and play over there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Thanks so much, Ruari.
Thank you, Danilo. Okay. Bye-bye.
Are we gonna? Oh, he's gone.
Oh, again. Okay. Thanks to you too, Jason, and I think it was really great interview. So thanks so much to putting me in contact.
It's a lot of time together.
Yeah.
A lot.
Thanks, Jason.
A great player.
Yeah. See you next time.
Okay. Thanks, Danilo.
Thanks very much. Really.
Bye-bye.